It's Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, about 6:30, and the dew is still on the grass. It's cool, nice, and I hear this familiar sound that says, "All right, Marines, fall in, align yourself." I said, "Oh no, not again." Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. It's Sunday morning, 6:30, and I'm back in formation. This was this past July, and we were at the Women Marine Association's conference, and every Sunday morning, just before the conclusion of our conference, we have our PT session. And I know as a Marine, you never volunteer for anything, but I volunteered for this. So I was outside, ready for PT, and I hear the lady say, "All right, Marines, I'm going to count the repetition. You count the repetition, and I'll count the cadence. All right, spread yourself out. First exercise is going to be jumping jacks. So we do jumping jacks. Then we do some arm circles. Then we're going to move our head, and then we're going to touch our toes. Finally, she said, those old-fashioned mountain climbers. I was like, are you serious? That's getting on the ground and climbing the mountain. I was like, oh no. So finally, that was all over. Then they said, let's get in formation. I want all the rounders come to my right, all my walkers come to my left, and one of the Marines in the back says, okay, all the crawlers. I had that idea. That sounded pretty good to me. But I got in the walk formation, and I said, now, you don't want to be number one, because then you got to hold the guard. You don't want to be number two, because then you become a road guard. And they holler, road guards out, then you got to stand in the middle of the street, and stand like this, block all the cars, let the formation come by. And then, after your formation has passed you, you have to run back in place. So you get to the next block, and they'll be hollering, roll cards out. So the second position wasn't looking good either. So I said, maybe I'll go to number 4. But being as tall as I am, I couldn't be at the back of the formation because of my height. So I ran, and I stayed about number 4. So as we're going, before we left, they said, we're going to take pictures in front of the World War II Memorial. And the memorial was right across the street from the hotel. So I figured we're not going to be walking too far so I can make this. But the one thing they didn't tell us, that the memorial was across the street, but it was uphill, a 90-degree angle uphill. So as we're walking, we walked the first block, and we came around to the second block, and we started going uphill. Well, as we're walking up the hill, and I'm just walking, taking my time, and we're singing cadence, and we're all having a good time, then all of a sudden it just hit me. Oh my goodness, it's a little bit. So I had my singing start slowing down, and my breathing, I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm just walking, because you don't want to fall out. There's too many people behind me to fall out, so I'm just walking. And as I'm going, I'm slowing down, and people are walking around me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't fall out. So I'm just walking and walking, and my goodness, I said, well, I'm a little bit older than some of these people, so maybe I could just kind of like slow it down a little bit. So as I was walking, and we're going up the hill, and then all of a sudden a platoon of young women Marines come running by. These are the active duty. And they're just all just jumping up and down, and they're running past, singing. And then when you fall out, they circle around and they come back and get you. So I was walking and walking, and then we were almost there, 3/4 of the way, and I wanted to drop out. So I started slowing down, and all of a sudden, one of the oldest Marines come walking by me, 80 years old. And I'm like, oh my goodness, now I'm really in there. So I started getting a little bit faster, and I said, well, are you okay? Because I'm going to help her along. But really, she was helping me along. And we finally made it to the top. And we started to sit down so that everybody could take pictures. And they wanted all the older women to sit down, and then the younger people were going to be behind that. But I said, well, maybe I can qualify for one of the older women to sit down. But I actually wasn't. And the one thing I kept saying to myself, what happened to you're going to continue to PT after you get out, so you'll always feel better. But I didn't do that. And the thing that I want to tell you is that in statistics, it says that 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and you will be a healthier person. So I said that I am beginning today, going to try to do at least 15 minutes a day and then work up to that 30. So I ask all of you, are you doing your PT so that you will feel better? Madam Toastmaster.